Okay, this is the final question for today's reflection discussion. So I want you guys to think about if we look over on our board and look at the table we've created, we have a couple things going on over there. So if we look over at our table, let's say for example we look over at our table where we see 40 degrees as a reference angle. Okay, so we have our opposite over hypotenuse, adjacent over hypotenuse, and opposite over adjacent. If we go ahead and look at our adjacent over hypotenuse, we will see that the adjacent over hypotenuse value for 40 degrees is 0.766. So as a group, I want you guys to think about what does this 0.766 tell us, and how can this number, so we know the adjacent over hypotenuse value for 40-degree right triangle is 0.766, how can that help us solve a problem? And to give you guys something more concrete to think about, let's go ahead and look at this triangle below. So this is like the situation we were describing before. We have our 40-degree right triangle. So how can we use the number we found on the previous slide, which was 0.766? So we looked at our table to figure out that number. How can we use that number, and what does it mean? How can we solve for x? So discuss with your group. Go ahead, you can solve for x if you want, or just describe how you would solve for x. Make sure every group member contributes a response. And yeah, reflect on what you've known. So think about, it has the same reference angle.